In Fortnite Chapter 2 Season 4, there are a ton of new guns in the game. Whether these guns are actually new to the season, or they're just unvaulted, we do have a ton of new things to cover. So today, I'll be making a tier list of every single gun in the game right now, and showing you which one you need to prioritize picking up over every single other one. Let's jump right into it. Alright, so this morning I made this little arena. The render distance isn't that far, but we have an invisible spectator platform above it for when we want to overview all of our selections. But if we actually do come down over here, we can look at every single one of our guns. Now, before I start, just a quick reminder. The charged shotgun is somehow still not in creative, so I've replaced it with the heavy shotgun. Just keep that in mind. Charged shotgun equals heavy shotgun for this. And the Stark Industries rifle is also not in creative, so that is replaced by the infantry rifle. Now, as you can see, instead of doing a normal tier list thing, I decided to make an entire arena, which took me a little bit. So consider subscribing, just because off the bat, you can already tell I put a ton of effort into these videos. But I'm not going to try and force you to subscribe until you actually enjoy the content. So let's jump right into it. Alright, we're going to start off with the very bottom tier. Right here, we have the blue pistol. Now, the pistol is interesting because in early game fights where you have nothing else to use, it is a good weapon, but in late game and mid game, it really offers no reliable damage. So for that, I'm going to put it in the D category because it just doesn't offer anything reliably. You can't use it in the middle game or late game. It is only a good gun for when you first pick it up off spawn. Next, we have the suppressed SMG. Now, this gun is an interesting one because it used to be insanely overpowered. This season, though, its fire rate has been nerfed really hard. It now only has a 7.8 fire rate in comparison to the P90. The P90 actually has a fire rate of 10. So this is an entire 2.2 fire rate slower, which makes it much harder to use. Now, that being said, it does have quite good damage, with 22 a bullet. But something like the tactical SMG has a higher fire rate, and even though the tactical SMG has a little bit less damage, you have more shots to hit. So, theoretically, you can make more damage if you have worse aim. Basically, what I'm trying to say here is that the suppressed SMG is a good SMG if you don't have anything else. But for now, since I don't think it's really reliable in most situations, I'm going to put it in the C tier just because you need something else to start it off with. You need to have a pump shotgun shot land before you can actually switch to your SMG because you're not going to reliably be able to kill someone with just the suppressed SMG. Next, we're moving on to the LMG. Now, this gun, I think this gun's OP. Okay, let's be totally honest here. It's got a fire rate of 8, which is slightly higher than the suppressed SMG. And it does 4 more damage than it. And it has an 100 magazine clip. This gun is insanely broken right now, as you can literally use this in a close range fight and 4-shot somebody if they're at 100 health. So, for that reason, this is going to be our first gun in the S tier. You can use this gun whether you hit your shotgun shot or not. It is a great engage tool. You can even use it at mid-range. The bloom on it isn't that bad. You can tap fire with it. It has 100% first shot accuracy. The bloom reticle doesn't actually get that large. This gun is definitely in the OPS category for right now. By the way, if you're wondering, yes, I did set up invisible teleporters just to make this process go a little bit quicker. Yet again, another piece of effort I put into the video. Consider subscribing. Now we're moving on to the scoped assault rifle. This gun, in my opinion, is amazing. Now, in creative, they don't have the purple and legendary variants, but that is what I'm going to be reviewing. You only want to really pick up this gun if you find the purple or legendary variants. The damage on it scales very well. I think the legendary does about 37 damage without much drop off. So that means it is a great engage tool, as if you manage to hit 2 body shots even, that is taking off someone's shield entirely and cracking their health if they only have 50 shield. If they have 100 shield and you manage to hit a body shot and a headshot on one of the purple or legendary varieties, you have already cracked them and you have a major advantage in going into that fight. And especially if you're in solos, you can easily finish up the kill. And if you're in trios, your team can easily push off of a cracked person because then that person is forced to stay out of the fight, heal up, and that will make your trio be in a 3v2 situation for some time. That being said, this gun falls very short at close range, so I think I'm going to have to put this gun in the A tier because while it is an amazing engage tool, if you don't hit your shots, it does give away your position, and it is completely useless close range. Next up, we have the Stark Industries laser rifle. Now, remember, this is just an infantry rifle, so please just bear with me here. Pretend like this is the Stark Industries rifle, okay? Okay, we're on the same page now. but this gun is actually amazing. A lot of people think it's trash, but I'm here to tell you that it is actually not. When you're aiming down sights with the Stark Industries rifle, you can get giant damage shots, as it is a slow fire rate, but you are able to pump out a bunch of damage. Especially if you hit your headshots, you can easily crack people in 1, 2, or even 3 shots. Now, the best thing about it is that it doesn't stop there. It can actually also be used as an SMG in close range combat, which will allow you to only carry 2 guns, a shotgun and the Stark Industries rifle, instead of needing to carry an SMG for those close quarter fights. That being said, there are some other reliable options like the Scar that are much better for long range and close range fights, so just because of that, this gun is going to be going into the A tier. But if you find a Stark Industries rifle and you're carrying an SMG and a blue or lower AR, I suggest you drop your SMG, drop your AR, and pick this up in the slot for both of them. Now, I honestly don't know if the rocket launcher is in the game this season. I literally haven't seen one yet, but when I looked it up on the Fortnite Wikipedia, apparently it's in the game. If this thing is in the game still, you guys already know this thing is OP. You can always use it in any situation. You can long range snipe out build battles. You can use it close range. But that being said, you can blow yourself up with it if you don't have the best aim. So for that reason, I'm going to be putting it in the A category just because there is the chance that you could screw it up and manage to kill yourself with it. Now, it's not even the user error sometimes. It's not even you just having trash aim with the rocket launcher. Sometimes your opponent can literally go out of their way just to block your shot so that you take the damage instead of them. So the rocket launcher is going to be going into the A tier. I'm not sure if it's in the game yet. I promise you, I have actually played a decent amount this season, but I genuinely haven't seen one of those yet. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys have actually seen one, because I haven't. Next, we have the bolt action sniper rifle. Now, I have an entire video for why this is the best gun in solos, and also I think it could be the best gun in trios, so this is definitely going to be going in the S tier. Now, just to explain it to you guys, this gun is amazing because in solos, you can easily pick off people and turn your entire game around. Even if you only have a blue bolt action sniper rifle, but you manage to hit a headshot on someone and you have trash loot, you will be able to turn your entire game around just from one shot from one gun. Now, it doesn't stop there only in solos. In trios, you can also pick off one of the players from an enemy team, which then will lead to your trio being in a 3v2 situation, which is a much easier spot to make you guys win. So the bolt action sniper rifle is our second gun in the S tier for this season. Now, just remember, before I continue going, all of these are my opinions. If you guys think differently, make sure to leave your thoughts in the comments down below if you think a gun is underpowered or overpowered. I'll be reading all the comments as I always do, so if you want to talk to me about one of the guns, just leave a comment and I will definitely get back to you on it. Next, we have the charged shotgun. Now, I don't really want to cover this gun before I do the pump, but I'm going to just because of the order I laid them out. This gun was really good last season because there was no pump, but now with alternatives like the pump shotgun instead of the charged shotgun, this gun is basically irrelevant at this point. The firing mechanism on it is really weird, as you need to hold down the button and then release to fire, so that is still really weird to adjust to for me. Even though I've been playing with it for an entire season, I still don't like the firing mechanism. And the damage it does is about equivalent to the pump shotgun, and with the blue variant only having 3 shots in it and the reload time taking forever, it is just not worth to have in a fight or to just be carrying around in general. So for that, this is going to be the second gun that we put in the C tier. Now, while it does underperform in many categories, it can turn around fights for you by just hitting a fully charged shot to someone's head. But I was thinking about putting this gun in the B tier, but when you think about it, the pump can do that as well. If you shoot someone in the head with the pump from point blank, it's going to do 180 damage if you have a blue one. If you have a blue charged shotgun from close range, I honestly don't know how much it does, but I don't think it can one-shot them. Even if it does, you need to charge up the gun, which makes it a very risky situation that I don't think is worth having. So that is why I put that gun into the C tier. Now we are on to the burst assault rifle. This gun used to be the best gun in Fortnite. It used to be amazing. It could burst through people's turbo builds and just laser people down from across the map. But now with it only having 2 bursts, it's a little bit of a riskier decision. This gun has been nerfed super hard as it now only has 20 ammo as well. So while it is still a very good option for an assault rifle, as it does lots of damage, especially if you hit headshots and body shots, it doesn't do the amount of damage that it used to, and it can't really compare to the Scar. So for that reason, it is still a good AR, but I'm going to be putting it into the B tier for now. Now, this gun can earn my respect if it does get a little bit of an increased fire rate or maybe a bigger magazine size, but for now, it just does not compare with the Scar, so I'm going to be putting that into the B tier. We are on to the final 5 guns, and to start it off, we have the Tactical SMG, our last SMG in this tier list, and in Season 4 in general. The Tactical SMG used to be basically the most overpowered gun in the game back in Season 9 and Season 10, as its fire rate was insanely high and it pumped out insane amounts of damage. While it does still have a very high fire rate of 9, only 1 below the P90, its damage has been nerfed quite a little bit, and the legendary variant does less damage than a blue suppressed SMG would. Now, that being said, I do have a little bit of bias for this gun just because I used to love it and I still do, but with a magazine size of 25, it does actually manage to pump out some damage, and only a reload time of 1.9, you can actually use this gun reliably in fights and get a decent bit of damage as long as you've hit a shotgun shot and you're following it up with this gun. I think this gun is a little bit better than the suppressed SMG, and I'm willing to put it in the B category for this season. Next up, we have the almighty pump shotgun, which has finally returned from the vault. Now, this gun, before I even start my review of it, it is going in the S tier. This gun has been a staple of Fortnite and is basically the backbone of the game. Everybody knows about the pump shotgun if you play Fortnite, and the whole 9 damage meme back in Season 5, all those seasons a while ago. But now this season is reliably the best shotgun in the game. It can one-shot people once you get the purple variant, and even with the blue variant, it does 180 damage to their head. This gun can turn around fights for you in an instant. If someone is box diving you, you can just line up your shot and manage to hit a giant headshot, and even if you don't hit the headshot, you can still connect a 150 body shot and follow it up with some good old SMG to finish them off. So the pump shotgun is definitely in the S category, as it is the best close range option you can be using in your fights. Now, I know some of you will say that its fire rate is very slow, but that being said, it does so much damage that it doesn't even matter. And in the current meta that we're in, where most of our fights occur with us taking brief shots and then closing the gap with builds, this shotgun is definitely very meta relevant and allows you to make lots of plays that you otherwise wouldn't with other shotguns. Now we're on to the final 3, and I'm going to rate the Revolver now. Now, this gun is interesting because while it has been seen as underpowered in past seasons, I actually see it as a pretty good gun. Now, only the legendary and purple variants are currently in the game, and that is honestly a good thing. The damage on this gun is actually insane. A 66 damage body shot. If you manage to connect 2 of these before your opponent can react, you will actually do so much damage. 132. That is an instant crack of anyone's shield and may even one-shot someone if they're running around on only 1 mini shield. So the Revolver can be great for long-range engages, but in a close-range fight, it really isn't going to see much potential. While you can just spam it at them and hope that it hits, if you're not connecting your shots and your bloom isn't working out, you're not going to be having any use of it. So for that reason, I'm still going to put it in the B tier just because it does great long-range damage and can really start off fights for you and your trio to make sure you win the game. Now, the final 2 guns we have here are both completely opposite sides of the spectrum, but we're going to start it off with the Scar. This, as I've said before, is a staple of Fortnite, just like the pump shotgun, and this gun can be used long range, mid range, and even close range. It is a great substitute for an SMG. It is really a good gun just entirely all around, with 36 base damage on the legendary variant and a great headshot multiplier and a fire rate of 5.5. This gun is amazing, as you can burst down long-range targets, you can use it in mid-range fights, and you can even use it as an SMG substitute in close-range fights just because of the high damage capability and the quick fire rate. The legendary Scar definitely earns its place as the last gun in the S tier. The final gun we have is the only one I'm going to put into the F tier for this season. The combat shotgun used to be the bread and butter of Season 9, back when the pump shotgun got vaulted. But following some recent nerfs this season, the combat shotgun is basically irrelevant, with only 55 base damage to the body on the legendary variant. It is disgustingly bad, and its ammo has been reduced from 10 to 8. and it only has a fire rate of 1.7. This means that even when you're in these quick raids with another player, you're barely going to be doing any damage to them unless you're consistently hitting point blank headshots to them, and even then you're barely doing anything. So this is the only gun from this season that I will actually put into the F tier. I really don't like the combat shotgun this season, and I don't think it should be used in like any circumstance. So now that we've finished the tier list, let's do a quick overview of everything we have. In the F tier, we have the combat shotgun, the worst gun in the game. D tier, we have the pistols. These guns are great for early game if they're the only gun you have, and great for off-spawn fights, but in the mid to late game, they're completely useless and should not be used at all. In the C tier, we have the suppressed SMG and the charged shotgun. The suppressed SMG got nerfed really hard and it is no longer really meta relevant, and the charged shotgun is not intuitive at all to use, and its damage does not compare to the other shotguns in the game, like the pump shotgun. In the B tier, we have the burst assault rifle, the revolver, and the tactical SMG. Now, the tactical SMG got nerfed very hard this season, and its fire rate and damage has been massively decreased, but it still is good for those close range fights. The burst AR now only does 2 bursts and only can store 20 ammo, so while it still does a ton of damage, it is no longer the glory that it used to be. Finally, the revolver is great for long-range engages and even sometimes mid-engages, but you need really good aim and it is completely useless in close range. That being said, in long range, it can obliterate people and absolutely get you a great entry frag to start a team fight off of. In the A tier, we have the RPG, the scoped assault rifle, and the Stark Energies laser rifle. Now, the RPG, I'm not even sure if it's in the game, but it does literally shoot rockets that can explode builds. This is amazing gun for late game, but the risk is your enemies can actually block your RPG shots and blow you up, so it is quite risky to use. The scoped assault rifle is great, especially in its legendary and purple variants, as it can start those long-range engages and get your team the damage that they need to push off of, and the Stark Industries rifle is a great option for a long-range gun and a close-range gun as a substitute for an SMG, but it falls short of the SCAR. Which brings me to the S tier. In the S tier, we have the LMG, the sniper rifle, the SCAR, and the pump shotgun. All of these guns outperform every single other gun in the game, and you should prioritize getting these guns over everything. Now, the LMG is amazing because it is basically an SMG with like infinite ammo in its clip. You're never really going to run out of ammo in it mid-fight, and even though the reload time is very long, all you need to do is back out of the fight for a few seconds, hit that reload, and you've got 100 new shots in it. The pump shotgun, even in its lower rarities, is still amazing as it can deal out insane amounts of damage. It can turn a fight around in an instant. The sniper rifle can also turn your games around in an instant. If you hit a headshot with any of these snipers, then you can instantly turn around your game by getting free loot, free materials, and a free kill. Finally, we have the SCAR, the probably best gun in the game in my opinion. This gun has always been my favorite, and it does so much damage. If you manage to find a purple SCAR, take it no matter what. This gun can substitute for an AR, an SMG, even a shotgun in some instances. It is a great flex pick to have that you can really use in any situation. So that has been my tier list for Chapter 2 Season 4. If you guys found this video helpful, please consider leaving a like on it and subscribing to the channel, as that would help me out a ton. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you all have an amazing day, and I will see you in the next one. Yeah.